Hey, Doom Scribblers! So we are still talking about dialogue. And we started yesterday talking about making sure that the voice of your characters are distinct from each other. So they're distinct because of their gender, because of their race, because of their class. They sound different. The patterns of their speech are different. The syntax that they use is different. And you build that from the bio that you have written for your character. Today, we are going to talk about crutch words, adverbs, dialect, and how to handle these things in your dialogue. So you want your characters to be idiosyncratic, and you've got a character that comes from Glasgow. And so you start writing down phonetically what a Glaswegian sounds like. One line. You get one line of writing it out phonetically, and then your audience understands that they've got a heavy accent. And if your main protagonist struggles with that, you can have a moment of interiority where they struggle with the accent. So you've marked that from their POV, from their experience, you've marked that through the other character. But we are not Irvine Welsh. This is not train spotting. Our audience will not accept dialogue that is written in dialect. So you need to not do that. You need to make sure that you are writing. We're writing in English, so you're going to be writing in English that is not spelling out what the dialect looks like, sounds like, because our readers will run away. And for people writing in other genres, you need to make a genre decision about whether or not you can write in dialect in a trad space, unless you are writing something quite experimental like Irvine Welsh, and you're at the top of your game. He came in, it was his first book, Trainspotting was his first book. He came in swinging. He knew exactly what he was doing. And, it's considered a punk anthem. So there's a political point to the way that people speak. If you're doing that, go for it. We are not. In this space, we are not. So my rule is going to be a rule, and it's going to be you get one line of phonetically written out dialect or idiom, and then you go back to spelling and writing exactly as you do ordinarily. So that's what we're going to say about dialect. Crutch words. Do we know what crutch words are? So this mostly came from speechwriters who wanted people who were making presentations to stop saying where they're pausing and thinking, because it comes off as not being prepared and not respecting your audience. But that, of course, has leaked over into the novel. And crutch words have become this thing, and they are used in lots of different ways. You have to be very, very sparing with your ums and ahs, because, goes back to yesterday, put your hand up if you know the answer, they do not move the plot or the story forward. They don't do anything for the plot or story, so they go. They are really, really sparing. I'm going to let you have 2 per book, ums and ahs. Other than that, pretty much your dialogue is going to be boiled down, so people are getting to the point pretty quickly. I'm going to read you a list of crutch words. You can see what you think. I will add them to the room. I will put the list in there so you can see. I'm going to pause. See, I say a lot. I'm going to pause when I get to the filler words and try not to read you the filter words, not filler words. Filler words are what I was just talking about. Good Lord, I'm tired. All right, so crutch words. Nearly, as though, beginning to, shrugged his, her, their shoulders, slightly, almost, a bit, very, just. Really, definitely, certainly, probably, actually, basically, virtually, rather, quite, somehow. And then the rest of them are all filter language. So I'm going to put that in the room. And these are doing different things. You can see that some of them are modifying. So, for example, beginning to. You never want to begin to do something in a novel. You just do it, particularly in close third. It's extremely rare in your world that you think, for example, oh, now I am beginning to cut a potato. You cut a potato. That's what you do. If you're beginning an entire project, you might begin a project, or if you've been stalling or procrastinating, or there is a reason for you to get over that beginning hurdle, you might begin to do something. But when you are trying to get your reader into the experience of your main protagonist, they don't begin to do anything. They do it. You absolutely get rid of that. Hedging words, almost, a bit. Where are the other ones? Nearly, out. They go absolutely out. And then there are the ones that are considered emphasis. So definitely, really, certainly. We're getting into adverb land. So why are adverbs considered the red-headed stepchild? I can say this because I was a redhead. So why are adverbs considered so bad? They are a tell, and we are in the business of showing, and we're in the business of showing because of the brain science. The brain science is that if you show the audience what is going on, the brain will click into that experience and they will experiencing it as the character. If you tell, they will not. This is why we don't remember vast tracts of stuff that were on the news, because we get told a lot of stories. But if one of those stories gets turned into a movie, then we remember, because we are in the experience, living it on the ground. We're not being told the facts, we're being shown the experience. And this is why adverbs are considered a tell and considered a sloppy way to write, particularly when you're writing in close third. Show us what it means that somebody did something quickly or slowly, because they're relative terms. What does that even tell me? I don't know what that means. Actually have the experience, be on the page. I wrote myself a list so that we didn't get too lost. Right, crutch words, adverbs, dialect. Oh, good, we're ahead of the pack. We're only at 8 minutes. So we have lots more to talk about dialogue, but we're going to go on to that tomorrow in part 3. So shoot me questions. Let me know what you think. Yes, I say a lot. That is because one of the things that I'm trying to do with these videos is to help people get to a place where it's okay to try. And you do not have to be perfect in order to try this. If I were doing this for a paid course, if I was taking your time and taking your money, then I'd get one of the little lights and light my studio properly and not turn up in my robe. And I prepare for these pretty hard, but I'd script it. I'd script it so there were no ums and ahs and wells and so's, and you would know beforehand what was coming up, because I would not want to infringe on your time in that way. But this has got a double meaning. What I'm trying to do is to help the people in the charity room understand you are here learning a new genre. You're learning the hero's journey, which for many people is also new, and you're learning a new voice because you're writing in close third. Many people haven't written in close third before, and it turns out it's pretty rule bound. And I want you to be okay with showing up in your dressing gown and sitting down and trying. So with my ums and ahs and my badly lit room and my dressing gown, I will bid you a good night, with not being perfect, but doing our best.